Alrighty, everyone, we are here yet again with another episode of m1lkcast. This is what day is this? What year is it? No, seems like we are on day I want to say 4 of the m1lkcast League, and we are going to be having I think 4 or even maybe 5 games lined up so far, and possibly even a couple more in a couple minutes. So. Pro League, m1lkcast, Pro League, Star League, whatever you want to call it. It is a league of 5 teams, double round robin system. Every team plays every other team 2 times. All of it is streamed and recorded and casted. Of course, stream is here on twitch.tv/m1lkcast, or maybe you're joining us from m1lkcast.com, and VODs are going up at youtube.com/m1lkcast. So, here we are. I am solo casting, by the way. Kaiser Wilhelm is sort of managing the spreadsheet with our league information on it, because right now we have, I think, 21 teams. It's either 20, 21, something like that. And, of course, tracking down team captains, managing games, getting games going, things like that. It all takes just a little bit of time. Oh, I need schoolwork to do. Anyway, so this is Team WalleMarno's backpack, because, of course, WalleMarno literally lifts up his 4 teammates and puts him on his back. And to do such a thing on a consistent basis, of course, you're going to want to invest in a simple backpack. So that is Purple Team. First pick is Team Rocket, I believe, with such names as Gab, Dapper Penguin, Wyeth, Bulbasaur, and of course the lovely Shreve. Now, both teams know each other. I think this is the first time they've played each other. However, we have seen a number of games, sort of, between the 2 teams. In terms of the picks and bans, which I didn't really go over because I was blabbing on about, self-promotion. We did see Purple banned Shree's Riven, obviously a very competent solo top, and Blue Team banned Genocide George's Renekton, which seems to be his most consistent top laner. Not only that, but they actually took away his Warwick, Gab picking that up for jungling purposes. Now, it is going to be interesting to note, oh, and also, of course, Skarner being banned versus WalleMarno. Probably considers himself a main, Skarner main. And we tried to have a long discussion about jungling yesterday, because WalleMarno, in terms of the junglers we see in these in-houses, in terms of, jungling, not so much, in general at least, not so much a mechanical challenge. Champions like, Skarner, Udyr, Mundo, really, the mechanics aren't what's difficult about him. It's more of a conceptual role. Sort of similar to support in that, you don't have to really hit skill shots, you don't really have to, last hit or a lot of the more mechanically challenging parts of the game, but you do have to really understand what's going on conceptually. And WalleMarno really loves playing these fast clearing junglers like Skarner, Udyr, people that he can really just, clear the full jungle and then go ahead and maybe start counter jungling, controlling the enemy buffs, things like that. So very, very comfortable on Udyr. I did have a long discussion with him. Shyvana's really fallen out of favor, and yesterday we saw WalleMarno's backpack have a very single target team comp, and they really, one of their downfalls in that comp was that in team fights, I think they were against like a Morg, a Jarvan. It was a kill lane bot, so it was a Pantheon Jarvan bot lane. They also had Morg, and there were just all these threats of in terms of the AOE, and their team was something like Poppy, Vayne, Warwick, Trundle, and it was just so single target focused. We don't really see them having that same problem here. Kog'Maw, obviously, super high single target DPS. Janna, lots of AOE CC and a great AOE way to peel for Kog'Maw with that AOE knockback ulti. Udyr, fair amount of AOE magic damage with his Phoenix stance, which I think WalleMarno always plays Phoenix stance. Udyr, and of course Morgana, a great AOE sort of team fight champion. Blue team, fair amounts of AOE damage on Corki, Mord and Vlad, and some decent single target damage and CC coming out of the hands of Gab. Not as much CC on blue team. We shall see how that affects them. Alistair providing some nice AoE CC, relatively short cooldown, about 6 seconds at 40% CDR on that pulverize. Maybe a little bit longer, I might be wrong, it's closer to 7 or 8. Anyway, and then of course that 2 seconds suppress coming out of the hands of Warwick. So it looks like blue team really has a lot of damage coming out of Mord and Vlad. However, we shall see. Obviously, if you just kill the entire enemy team in a 5-throw exchange, you don't really need CC. I believe, what was the champions? I think it was the April Fool's joke a year ago. The Lee Sin Champion Spotlight said, I CC the enemy team by killing them. And that is actually a very valid method of CC. It's a full disable. It lasts for 50 seconds. Scaling very well in the late game, of course. Not a whole lot of CC by killing someone early game. You only get like a 10-second disable, but late game, 60 seconds. So anyway, we shall see. Especially Mordekaiser has done a lot of excellent work. Seen very good play in these in-houses where he's able to get the ghost on either the AD carry or the jungler who kind of deals a ton of physical damage. Mordekaiser's ghost, by the way, he actually gets a lot of tankiness and a lot of AP from Mord, so it's great on a champion. I was thinking about this yesterday. Who passively scales with AP? And I think Kog'Maw actually does. I think Kog'Maw's ghost. Oh no, because the W is active. No, the only one I could think of was Orianna, who has passive AP scaling on her auto attacks. So anyway, we are going to go ahead and get things going. Oops. The team comp is a little bit interesting here. Genocide George picking up that Yorick against Vlad. Decent choice. Both of them very frustrating top laners. Oh, and it looks like, let's go ahead and start this again. In blind pick. Remake as blind pick. Retrieve, I think DCing. So, we are just going to go ahead. I'm not going to restart the recording. At least. So, jeez, what was the team comp there? I'm gonna have to remember. Warwick, Corki, Alistair, Mord, Vlad against let's see, it was a Udyr, Morgana, Kog'Maw, Janna, York. Perfect. By the way, about that pick, that York pick, very, very safe in lane. And also, not only that, but also very, very good with Kog'Maw, because if he gets dived, York can, of course, not only put that ulti on him for about a 70% damage steroid, but also once once he dies, he can, of course, come back to life with full damage. So it's only like a 70% steroid for as long as it lasts, and then if Kog'Maw actually dies, it becomes you lose the 70% steroid. You don't have 2 ghosts active at once, but you do have the AD carry back up, back alive, doing full damage for a couple seconds. Anyway, that took a long time to explain because I was trying to read and talk at the same time. So, Genocide George, yeah, that ain't Yorick, you fool. So, Bernabas gonna be picking up that Mord, I think. Stop trolling, you trolls. Looks like blue team. Blue team has their picks locked in. WalleMarno, Udyr, Kog'Maw, Janna, York, Mord. There we go. Sorry for that short delay. However, we should get things going. I think I have to sit through that 3-minute spectator thing still, even though it's a custom game. So, by the way, if you guys want to go ahead and help out m1lkcast, go ahead and bump this stream. Bump this thread. I'm not gonna make one since I am getting in game to cast this. Gonna do a little bit of So okay, first let me go over the matchups. In the jungle we have Warwick, played by Gab, against WalleMarno on Udyr. Warwick is okay. It sort of depends. Warwick, of course, with that huge amount of CC, is just so scary if you're playing mid lane. Morgana, however, is a very safe pick against Morg because she farms very safely and very passively. She just throws that down that W and then waltzes away. And her black shield will actually prevent any CC. So as long as she gets that black shield down on, especially if she has a ward in the side brushes, the Gab on Warwick will be unable to CC her to kind of provide the provide the Mordekaiser with a free kill. Also, Mord of course has that huge ulti, which provides him kind of a controllable pet if he gets a kill. If anyone dies when they have the Mordekaiser Ghost on them, they turn into a controllable pet. However, Morg's Black Shield can really prevent that from happening very nicely. So it's going to be interesting to see how well Burnibus is able to put down Black Shields. Oftentimes you'll see a Morg just click Alt-E to self-cast that Black Shield and then just run into the enemy team and ulti. However, it might be best to invest in a Janya's. So just flash in ult and pop your Janyas, and that way you're able to keep your Black Shield on the Kog'Maw instead. Janyas, of course, providing you a untargetable state for about 2 seconds. So very good way to use that. It will prevent the Alistar from headbutting you away, for instance. It will prevent you from dying. And that way you can free up the Black Shield for the Kog'Maw. Obviously, if that Kog'Maw gets ghosted, very scary, and blue team can almost certainly just win a team fight based off that alone. People sort of forget how strong it is when a Mord is able to pick up this super tanky 80 carry ghost 50 minutes in the game when they have an IE, a PD, and an LW, because items and passives, Mord Ghost does get items and passives. In fact, I think Mord Ghost will also get that Kog'Maw passive, which is sort of funny. So if they decide to kill Mordekaiser's Ghost, Kog'Maw will, in Ghost form, explode and deal true damage in an AoE. So, Corki, sort of less of a hyper carry, but a little bit stronger in lane. Lots of burst damage, however, Janna is quite good in terms of the anti-burst she's able to kind of put down with that shield. And sorry, I was mentioning earlier, Gab, very strong post 6. However, WalleMarno might do a good job of shutting down Warwick pre-6. Oh my god, it's a bit dusty in my room. Anyway, it happens. Udyr ganks very hard pre-6 with his Bear Stance and does a significant amount of magic damage with Phoenix Stance. Warwick also dealing a lot of damage with that Hunger Green Strike, which deals percentage of overall HP, I believe 20% at level 5. So quite a significant amount of damage, however, I think not quite as much damage as Phoenix Stance Udyr if you can get all those auto attacks in. And then, so Janna Cog down bot, kind of very passive, kind of pokey. However, Corki Alistar very heavy on burst. York against Vlad up top. That is Genocide George versus Shreve, a matchup we've all been waiting for. So we shall see exactly how that goes. I'm just going to shut this, going to shut that. The IRC is open. I am taking a look at the IRC if anyone has anything to talk about. Any questions to ask me maybe about m1lkcast? It looks like it's doing this thing it often does where it spawns a half instance. However, that's fine. We're going to go ahead and get that all settled. I'm just going to check the League of Legends subreddit, see if anyone has maybe made a post about today's m1lkcast stream. Because, of course, the more viewers, the more fun. And it doesn't look like anyone has made that thread. Oh well. Such is life. So, we'll soon be... There we go. Let me just change the video quality over to Borderless. Restart. There we go. Yep. Alrighty then. So. Just increase my sound a little bit so I can actually hear what's going on. Kaiser Wilhelm, if you're listening, I know you're not casting. You might have the stream open.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Just let me know how the sound balance is, because I think some people have complained that the audio volume on stream is not enough. Of course, blue team's name, Team Rocket. I think this is the reference to Pokemon. I believe it is. Team Rocket's blasting off again. So, looks like purple team not really going to want to go for that level 1 fight. They do have Janna, they do have Morg, they do have Udyr, who in a pinch can start with that bear stance. However, it will slow down his jungle a little bit. Although, of course, invading against an Alistar, maybe not always the best idea. What is going on in this chat? This is the problem of casting games between friends. They always try and talk. So it looks like it's going to be Team Rocket against Team Captain Planet.
Minions have spawned.
Yikes! That escalated quickly. So looks like Yorick's just going to go top. Vlad maybe going to help out with that Warwick jungle a little bit. Gab using that Hungering Strike to make sure the passive damage from Ward's Creeping Death doesn't mess with him in any way. It does start boots. And is that 3 pots? Or did he start with a ward and place it down somewhere? Yeah, looks like he has warded his red. Afraid of that counter jungling from WalleMarno, who didn't smite. So it looks like WalleMarno might go for a counter jungle. He is heading down in that direction. It does drop down a ward. They do have red warded. And let's go ahead and take a look at the vision for blue team, because you'll see exactly how Gab is going to react to this. They do spot Udyr. The ping goes down. They know he's there. And let's see. Maybe Mordekaiser, Alistar, all of them going over. And it looks like WalleMarno knows he's in trouble. Decides he might just decide to kind of flash over this wall. Morg is here. Yep, there's the flash. So good reaction from WalleMarno. And it seems that blue team has done their research on the sort of counter jungling that WalleMarno likes to do. Very smart from Warwick too. He got a hard leash, so that he Warwick, of course, with his Q and his passive, quite good at sustaining. And instead started boots, ward, and a pot. Put down that ward over here at red. Didn't even need the support to do it. And then was able to safely get his team and force a flash away from WalleMarno. WalleMarno loves flashing in for the bear stance in ganks, so it is going to really hurt him to not have that flash up. And obviously, if you counter jungle again with your flash down, it is quite risky. Looking up at the lane matchups, both Yorick and Vlad have tons and tons of sustain. Yorick kind of pushing at will, although really Gab not so scary. Warwick not so scary, even with that red buff. Not a very strong early ganker, and it's more about those ganks at level 6. That's the reason people really play. Yorick doing what Yorick's do and just being such a bully, even under the enemy turret, able to put down a fair amount of damage onto Shreve, who was a level behind because she had all these minions pushed up. Although, I didn't really see. Maybe Shreve missed a little bit of CS early. Maybe Genocide George was denying, or maybe he's running like XP from the utility tree or something. Looks like maybe just doing a good job of denying Vlad, who is a little bit weaker early game. You're kind of strong in lane with that poke, as long as he has the mana to support it. Bernabas, they know he's. I don't know how they know that Bernabas is there. I guess Mordekaiser just saw going down through lane, and it looks like blue team is pushed to turret, so not gonna be all that effective. Bernabas on Morg. On Morg, gonna want to head back mid. However, it looks like WalleMarno is able to soak up a little bit of that XP and gold that Bernabas would have missed. And yeah, I mean, I like it that he was deciding to go run bot. He didn't miss much. He only missed 2 creeps worth of XP. And Morg just farmed so well that it's not really gonna make a difference to her. And if she had got a kill down by, it would have been first blood, which definitely would have been interesting to see. Warwick heading up top because York is still pushing. Shreve, however, in a lot of trouble. No ignite, so not a lot of kill potential onto Genocide George. So we shall see exactly what happens here. And keep my eyes around. Warwick going in. Shreve gets taken very low. The heal goes down. Genocide George a little bit late on the ignite. Warwick, I think, you know, he might have even got the kill. 242 health. You cut that in half to 120. She had like 140 health. So that's pretty much, you know, exactly what the heal healed. And I think had George, you know, ignited early and then gone in for the auto attack, or maybe just put an E or W down. I think he didn't want to do that because of that heal being blown. He was too late on the ignite. However, could have really, you know, because you get sort of confident when your jungler's around, you can really get baited into situations you shouldn't be in, just because you think, it's a 2v1, and a good player can easily turn that around and say, you're a lot weaker than you think you are right now, Shreve. So we shall see. Looks like York is probably going to want to go back when he has 1995 gold, which is why you didn't see him back just quite yet. Obviously, picking up that early tier, so he just spams his spells all day long. And yeah, once you get your tier, it's pretty much just free farm mode. Genocide George just leveling up to 6. He's going to have to be careful. I think Shreve does actually have a lot of kill potential with ulti. And Genocide George doesn't want to go back until he has enough for a ward and a tier. I don't know if this is the right decision for him. He is going to go back. I think he's just so afraid of that level 6. However, it was pushing. He would have just been able to sit, kind of, you know, run away, and then especially with his E, he is quite survivable. So he's instead going for a Chalice. Not the strangest idea because obviously it does provide 30 MR against Vlad's entirely matched damage except for those auto attacks. And there's a huge wave here. I don't know if he is going to be picking up a tier because that is sort of a late tier, but obviously you don't need to build it on York. However, it is just so nice because you're always spamming your spells for sustain, and you can build it up so fast. So Manamune, quite a nice option on York. Doesn't look like he's going to do a freeze the lane, although he might just be thinning it out a little bit. I would like to see Genocide George kind of work a little bit on his conceptual mechanics of top lane, because if he entirely nukes this down, he's not going to be able to deny creeps as effectively, and in fact might start pushing the lane towards the enemy team's favor. Sorry, towards the Vlad. So looks like this is going to eat an entire wave so far, and he wants to, I think, maybe stand on the other side and draw aggro. Looks like doing a decent job of keeping this minion wave a little bit controlled. Although I think that might just be because it was such a large stack of minions. Blue buff not up for blue team? Yeah. Or was it stolen? Oh, it was stolen. I missed that entirely while I was trying to talk about Genocide George's mechanics. So I guess that went to Udyr earlier. Yep. I was thinking, I looked at the clock and it was 7. And then I kind of saw him in that area and I was like, oh, he's just setting up. But no. There we go. So very good job from WalleMarno once again, showing that he really understands the timers on it. Obviously this buff spawns at about 7 minutes 20 seconds. Lots of damage going down up top. The ignite goes down. Genocide George, I think, could have got the kill there. Either Australian lag or a misclick. If you right click on Vlad and he goes into his pool, you'll stop moving. If he ran alongside and even if he flashed for that kill, the heal is still down and Shreve might actually die to a minion. No. It's ticking down very low though, 160 health. I would like to see maybe, you know, it is Vlad with that cooldown now off of his pool. Going to be a little bit survivable. However, Genocide George in a good position to get the kill. Udyr taken down very low by Mord, it seems, and that could have been a bad, that could have been trouble for WalleMarno. Would still like to see, you know, this action up top is just kind of like, York is such a bully, he really is, and he just casts his spells on you and doesn't really give a crap because he gets so much sustain, so much damage, and they target you. Bulbasaur without that ulti, without that ignite, so not the strongest gank's gonna be coming out. Vlad almost has his heal up, does have his heal up. Warwick is coming in, leads with that ulti. And this might be a kill on Genocide George. He's going to have to use his E off cooldown. He's not using it yet. It is up. Go ahead and drop down an E, Genocide George, because you can survive this. Instead, just gonna run away. Very good job to pick up that chalice. However, Morgana coming in, not as much damage as I think she would want. However, Genocide George has to be careful not to get too cocky. He's not really using his Young cooldown. Ooh, and I think if she hadn't used that pool, and a nice stun right before the Vlad goes into his pool. Bernabas not really using the pool so effectively. I think it would have been a kill there if she hadn't just put it down. Obviously, your pool really doesn't do much damage. It's more just a lot of damage over time if they soak up the full duration of that binding. And she is, and actually coming right up top because I think she realizes that she has ulti up. Almost certainly going to be a kill here. Use that ulti. There we go. And then just go ahead and use that bind. There we go. Very nice. First blood actually picked up by Genocide George. Be quite helpful from him. That was smart of Morg. She kind of left and she was like, oh, the gank's over. And then it was like, oh, I'm just going to head kind of back in. A nice ulti from Jonah, however, it might not be enough. The tornado goes off. The exhaust goes down. Kog'Maw, meanwhile, just auto-attacking and auto-attacking and auto-attacking. Very nicely done from Sacred Venge to just sit there and auto-attacking, not even bothering kiting. And very smart of Jonah to go back in and put down the exhaust. They just, you really shouldn't blow too much onto the support, because if the AD carry is just sitting there auto-attacking the whole time and he doesn't have to kind of like, if he's not pressured in any way, you will probably lose that exchange, especially if you don't obviously if you full to zero the support, you can kind of 2v1 them. WalleMarno, by the way, picking up a very early oracles after that Heart of Gold, which seems to be his standard build. He I think maybe wants to counter jungle and understands that blue team has done a great job of putting down these wards. Looks like Warwick, without that Oracles, is going to get picked up on that ward from Yorick. Not a whole lot of kill potential either, because he is at full health. So smart job from Genocide George to put down that, to buy that Chalice of Harmony early, and then pick up that Tear of Goddess. It did save him in that 2v1 gank. Warwick and Vlad dealing almost entirely magic damage, unless they can get the auto attacks down. So nicely done from him. Down bot, it looks like 97 CS on Corki to 79 on Cog plus the kill. Looks like a dominant lane for Cog, and of course also scaling much better into late game than Corki. Pretty much, 40 minutes in, Kog'Maw just 3-4 shots and everyone dies. It's just absurd. So much range, so safe. Oh, and Ignite going down onto Shreve. Genocide George really doesn't want to commit to this. Oh, and it forces the ulti away. Just uses that E, gonna get very healthy. Oh, and Morg actually coming in, they find Udyr and Morg find Gab. Mordekaiser is around. He actually has a level advantage on Morg. Lots of damage still going down on a George, and the Ghoul is able to pick up the kill. Nice ulti from Bernabas. Looks like it's gonna go for Gab. The Bear stance goes down. No flash. Oh, and lots of damage going on Wally. He really doesn't want to lose that Oracles. Very nice ulti and very good micro. He instantly puts that Ghoul to work. And can Morg land a binding yet again, using that pool without the binding to keep them there. Ooh, and Bulbasaur does an excellent job saving the life of Gab. That was blind, so he just positioned nicely between the Warwick and the Udyr. Very good coordination. I think both these teams registered kind of, they're teams of players who got together for this tournament. But it's excellent to see how much teamwork they're willing to do. It's not like, in solo queue, it's like, you noob, you got caught. And no, here it's just like, I think the Morg is probably going to send out a binding, and Gab's very low on health. So, maybe I don't have to run away. I'm Mordekaiser, I'm full health, I have a shield. I'm not going to die to a bind, however Gab will. So, tanking that bind for his teammate, very nicely done. And very good team play here. Even in high-level games, you often see people act a little bit selfish and not try and save their teammates if they get caught in a 2v2, 2v3 situation. So Gab gets taken down very low. I don't know if he actually had that Oracles picked up there. He might have just picked it up. At any rate, Blue Buff was able to go over to Morg, who's building, looks like 2 Dorans and a Catalyst. I don't really like that build. I think it would be ideal to instead go for either 3 Durans into like a Janya's, or just rush that Rod of Ages without any Durans, because Durans and Catalyst provide sort of the same thing, a little bit of health and a little bit of mana. Genocide George just totally bullying Shreve. I don't think we've seen Shreve in such a such a weak position so far. Only has 36 MR. York deals a ton of magic damage. Morg is around, by the way, down bot. Morg is around also. They do get picked up on the ward. Be nice to see WalleMarno put a little bit more pressure down on the bot, because obviously Dragon now up 15 minutes in the game. Even if they go for Dragon now, it's going to be a little bit of a late Dragon. Often you see them going for Dragons around. Oh, lots of damage coming down on Sacred Bench. However, he's able to just turn around and pick up the kill on Corki. So really, a nice job from Wyeth to get that CC down. However, it's not going to be enough. Genocide George actually gets caught by Mordekaiser, puts his ulti down, probably going to go around and turn around for the kill on Shreve. Not quite sure exactly what his decision making is right now. He doesn't. I don't think York is able to use his summoner spell in. People who get York ulti can't use summoner spells. However, they know more just went top, so they are going to pick up a Dragon, and I think that is very, very, very much worth it for Red Team. Dragon, of course, 190 gold per person on your team, with a lot more than the 300 plus 175 they got. Genocide George, admitting he's got a little bit of tunnel vision, didn't even, I think, see Mordekaiser picked up on this ward, and also didn't put that Ignite down on Shreve before he died. Players who aren't so familiar with York, and I don't know if George plays a lot of York, he does have that cool skin. I believe that's the Slash skin. Yeah, the Slash, obviously the guitar player. Oh, and a nice flash ulti goes down. Bernabas not quite able to get that black shield off, and that could be a kill. However, there is no ghost. Oh, and a nice early ulti. WalleMarno. Bulbasaur gets stunned in turret range, and I think a little bit of misplay from WalleMarno actually maybe got a bit greedy for that Oracles. Had he stunned Mordekaiser, I think that could have been a kill without Morg dying. Lots of damage going to go down onto Gav, however, he really doesn't give a crap. Shreve, there's the Ignite from Genocide George. There's the kill. Genocide George 3-1 in lane right now, 82 CS to 74. So not actually doing the best job of CSing, but CS is relative, and if you can put a Vladimir down to 74 CS, 17 minutes in the game, and also take a diminished amount of CS, as long as you have that lead over your lane opponent, you're winning your lane. And although he isn't winning relative to the Mordekaiser or the Corki, it is nice that he is able to shut down Vlad. And of course, with those 3 kills, 4.6k compared to the 4.9k on Mord or the 3.8k on Corki. So he's really not, he's where he wants to be right now. So great job by him. Both teams without Oracles. So I'm just drinking some green tea. Oh, I love it. Oh, sweet nectar of the gods, baby. That's my green tea voice, for those who were wondering.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Little bit of vision in the upper river. Dragon is down, so I guess they don't really feel they need the vision. York did finally take down that turret. Let's see. Tree generally doing a very good job of freezing the lane, putting those last hits in right at the end of the, right when possible. Actually missing a little bit of CS there. Anyway, is this a cannon wave? Yes, it is. So that lane will start to push in favor of Tree. I don't know if she'll want to freeze while York goes to take objectives. Blue has just popped here, 18 minutes in the game. And Gab with the Oracles, knows it's not worth it. Gonna probably want to pick that up for himself. Mordekaiser and Vlad don't really need it, as they are both manaless champs. However, it looks like Bernabas might be sneaking down bot. No, so just gonna maybe flash ulti in on Mord. Oh, the binding just barely whiffs. So actually, Shreve not quite able to freeze the lane. Maybe decided not to because wants to maybe deny. Obviously, as long as you have these creeps die when no one is around to pick up either the gold or XP, you're in a way, you're doing well. And it looks like one of the ways, of course, is to freeze that lane. Binding looks like it's going through. Corki probably going to go down here. However, nice flash right at the last second. YF puts the exhaust down on Morg. I don't know if that's the right call. Ooh, with the bind just barely missing. WalleMarno waiting in the wings, able to cancel that ulti. A John ulti knocks some of the tank line towards the carry. Oh, so much damage going down from Bulbasaur. A missed bind from Bernabas. However, it looks like Cog's just doing so much damage. Does have a Phantom Dancer, so he's critting a lot. Gaffer Penguin's still up, not really getting the auto attacks he wants to get off though. Oh, and that is a nice binding. It hits Alistair. So it looks like, wow. WalleMarno escaping with that Oracle's just so low on health. He's just going to go ahead and do a little bit of counter jungling. Very, very ballsy here. Vlad is around. Oh wow, and actually I missed that. Kog'Maw with that range. I don't know how they got there. They were over at their turret. What happened? Shreve, I was looking because Shreve was coming into the wings. Shreve popping that heal. Gonna get on Kog'Maw, however. I don't know. Kog'Maw has that heal. Gonna be taking down Shreve. Really just such a dominant position for red team right now. York free farming top. That was a 4v5 down bot effectively. And I just don't know what happened with Alistair and Corki. I wasn't paying attention because I figured that a game was over. They were over here and then they just kind of like went, whoop, we're going to try and defend this turret. So that is a surrender coming out. Team WalleMarno's backpack just proving to be so dominant. Shreve not able to handle that York. York, of course, is such a bully up top lane. Such consistent harass. Excellent sustain, and those minions are, sorry, not minions, those ghouls are just so frustrating to deal with. So that is going to be a win for WalleMarno's backpack. I think, you know, they really need it right now because they have lost a couple of games. So I don't exactly know what went wrong. I think the Warwick got counter jungled. Kog'Maw just did such a great job shutting down bot lane. A 3.5k gold advantage. Really, I don't know. I honestly don't know what happened bot lane. I don't know if it was pressure from the jungle. Warwick, of course, so weak early game and just fell behind WalleMarno, who had a 34 CS gold, 34 CS lead, 1.6k, and was part of 2 successful ganks. Looks like Kog'Maw just snowballed, and you know, especially with Alistair, if you fall a bit behind, it's just very difficult to get back on track. Excellent play. It was nice to see Genocide George beat Shreve. I didn't think that would happen. Shreve just such a dominant top laner, although I guess that Ignite against Vlad really did shut him down, and Vlad just didn't have the kill potential that she wanted because she had heal over Ignite. And of course, if you get a kill on Yorick, that really is a lane that can snowball very hard because of that consistent harass. So very good job picking up a lot of MR from George. Nicely played from him. That late tier I wasn't so sure about. However, definitely saved his life from a Warwick gank on at least one occasion. Let's see. Players messaging me. I win and I'm not BMing you. I just said great job. I did say that I was surprised you won, but that's not BM. That's just facts. No. In all seriousness, I love George. Very nicely played. To take down Shreve, who's such a dominant top laner. Although I don't actually know exactly the sort of the stats Shreve's able to put out when she doesn't get that ribbon. Might maybe be a champ who does get banned out. Who knows? Sort of the Phantom Lord of these Reddit in-house games. So anyway, Shreve did a decent job of that. Just I think the pressure from Udyr, the pressure from Morgana. She didn't really have that up top, and York just snowballed so hard. Would have liked to see her pick up a little bit more magic resist. She went for damage with those sorcerer shoes. Obviously, as you know, for Vladimir, you can either get, you can be a bit more survivable by either building cooldown boots or Merc Treads. Merc Treads will reduce the amount of damage you take. Cooldown boots will mean you can use your transfusion on a lower cooldown, which effectively heals you up a little bit more. 20-minute surrender coming out of the hands of blue team because very, very dominant top and bottom lanes and some decent jungle control coming out of the hands of WalleMarno. So that was a 20-minute game. I am going to go ahead and record the kind of results of this game in the spreadsheet. By the way, we still have, I think, slots for 3 more teams. So if you want to join, go ahead and add Kaiser Wilhelm, Kaizer Wilhelm on the NA server and register your team. We have about 20 teams right now, which is an excellent turnout. We are getting games going every single day. Just such a blast to watch. Once again, nicely done by blue team. However, they just weren't able to take home the victory this game. So very well played by purple. I'm going to say GGWP, end of this recording, and move on to the next game. There we go.